So, like I said earlier, there are penalties for defaulters, and also there is a process of appeasement, because Igba is a serious covenant that carries a very severe punishment on the defaulter. This punishment, if not quickly addressed or appeased, will result in a family or generational curse or stigma. A defaulter is known when mysterious occurrence begins to afflict their life, such as death, infertility, sickness, barrenness, failure at the age of breakthrough, failed marriages, and so on and so forth. The penalties of a defaulter is an outcome of the covenant entered into, as well as the reaction of the deity in which the covenant is administered. In addition to this is the curse, which is also placed on the defaulter. Abụmọnụ ga-adịrị onye mebiri ife gbasalụ ịgba ndụ. So, in addition to this curse, which is also placed to the defaulter, the penalties also differ in terms of the type of Igba ndụ entered into. So we really have to be careful in the way we do things, because there is a penalty for breaking any kind of a covenant. Let's talk about Igba ndụ in contemporary times. The influence of religion has made its impact on the appreciation and promotion of our rich cultural attributes, including Igba ndụ. It has had its impact. However, there are some few who still believe in the efficacy and powers of our deities. These few have tenaciously held on to the cultural practice, such as Igba ndụ, that is covenanting or covenant, and other aspects of our culture that recognize our deities in societal control. Though they are few, but yet they have been able to ensure that these practices do not fizzle away into oblivion. Let me remind you again the following groups that make use of Igba ndụ. I mentioned a boy and a girl in love, members of secret society or occult, robbery gangs, vigilante group, local hunters. And recall that I said earlier that there are types of Igba ndụ. We have the type that is called Ida. Okay, let me explain Ida once more. It is a common covenant instituted amongst relatives of common ancestry or parentage. This becomes necessary when there is a palpable suspicion that some relatives plan and execute evil against others. You see, one have to be careful. There are ways of doing that. Some even bring the Christian aspect of it into it. Because I told you that even in imported religion, a man of God from the majority Christian group is invited to institute the Ido Agbata, where the members will repeat the Agbata words and take a glop of the holy water, oil, or wine holding the Bible as a perfection of the covenant. So they also recognize this, because the startling thing is that members would always call for a new Ida, but after some years, with the belief that the old one has expired. You find it everywhere, covenant. People take it. We have the one called Igbo Liko, Ibenne. So these are the type of covenants. I want to refresh your memory so that you understand. Even local hunters, they are involved in taking oath to curtail one person shooting each other in the forest. and mistaking the person for an animal. Maybe out of wickedness they do that because actually the person is not an animal. So this helps to sanitize the society. Let's talk about the items needed for covenant. The items needed for Igba. These items depend on the type of covenant. Items like kola nuts, palm wine, hot drink, or blood. It could be blood of any animal. Plantain stock, a cockerel. Nzu, that is a kaolin. Alligator pepper for cleansing. Fresh palm frond, which is omunpo. Snail, yam, tortoise, and other materials like maybe some objects like something that will stand as a statue or a symbol or a seal to represent that covenant. I cited an example of aqualium. You see that red mold of red soil that symbolizes and stands for aqualium. That is a symbol of a covenant, of an agreement in Igbo land between the goddess of fertility, a family, and the Chukwu. Deities are involved. I mentioned earlier the different kinds of deities that are involved in covenanting. We also have witnesses, ndị ga-agba osiale in some language, that will witness that they are there when the covenant was instituted. Or maybe they are standing for the different partners involved. Elders in the community or in the family. Then let's include the incantation made by the priest or dibia, because it's very, very necessary, as incantation activates covenant. It activates the presence of deities or spirits that will come to bear witness before man and any deity that is involved. However, the covenant is administered in the shrine where necessary items have been prepared, an incantation made to invoke the ancestors and gods to witness it. So definitely there is always a dibia involved. A dibia is a mediator, an intercessor between man and the gods. So they are blessed. They are also akajiofo, because it is with their ofo that they will stamp authority on the covenant, so that both the defaulters will also know that the covenant has taken place. Ofo is a sacred stick or a sacred staff, which is normally used by the dibia. These help to seal the covenant. Like I said earlier, a covenant is involved, the covenanter, covenantee, and a witness. It is usually sealed and signed, maybe by blood or an oath that lets so thing before me if ever I default in upholding this covenant. That is it. So, covenants can be administered in the shrine where necessary items have been prepared and incantation made to invoke ancestors and the gods to witness it. The people involved will swear. Faganweyi na fama manata ibefa joife, madi beha joife. They will swear. It's necessary. so that they will not harm each other, either physically or spiritually, as anyone who goes against the covenant or the gods or the ancestors will dispense justice. Isizikwa na ife kwuru na ịgba ndụ na ikwuru ozikwa, malo that there are consequences. So you really have to be careful. Even if you don't agree anymore, you make sure that you bring all those people involved so that the covenant will be what? Denounced. There will first of all be appeasement before you can say that this covenant, you no longer want it. You want to opt out. It is no longer suitable for you and your family. Whatever it is. You don't just back out of a covenant without trying to make sure that the people involved will also know, they will be also aware that you are opting out. Even the dibia, you have to go back to that shrine if it's where it was covenanted. If it's in the family, umunna, you have to go there. You have to involve a dibia, a priest. The covenanter and the covenantee must be there. The witnesses must also be there. We have to be careful with our lives, especially two young lovers that know that with time they will no longer love each other. If you covenanted before a tree or before a deity, just know that wherever you are, even trees are spirits. They will bear witness. Once blood is involved, you have to be careful. It is not a trivial matter. It is very, very important. You have to make sure that you carefully unseal or break that covenant with the person involved. Don't say, hey, I have grown. I can no longer wait for Chike. I have seen a man that is better than Chike. I want to marry. Please go and meet Chike and tell him this face to face. If it's something that both of you pierced your hand, your thumbs and blood came out, you have to redo it again. You have to renounce it. Sorry, you have to renounce it. If at this point in time that the dibia will be involved, the dibia will tell you people what to do in order to revoke the covenant or renounce it. You don't go ahead because you have grown, that what we did when we are young. Now you have grown. It doesn't matter. It matters. I have seen a situation whereby both young lovers grew up to become matured adults. They suffered for what they did in the past. Both of them, their relationship did not work out. Their marriages broke. They became childless. They were looking for one another, but circumstances have separated them. Of course, they didn't even know that the covenant was responsible, because they all grew up and thought that this person, I don't need him again, I don't need her anymore, I've seen a better man, I've seen a better woman, without revoking and renouncing that covenant they made while they were young, in the heat of passion, in the heat of love. Don't be carried away, boys and girls of today. Make sure, if you are carried away by love and you are no more in love, make sure the covenant is renounced for your goodness. So, maka ọdịmma gị, unu yali were aka unu kotelu onwe unu okwu. Ịma na ịchọrọzi nke nwoke ma na ịchọrọ nke nwaanyị, wuo onya na gboo. Unu jeme ya sikwa ihe unu me. I know love again. Yes, I know love again. Will destroy it or renounce it. Don't go ahead and think, oh, we are being childish. You don't know the presence of an entity that was there. Any spiritual guy, you don't know. You don't know if the tree was an ungu tree, or apple, or juku, or Oji, or Nuchi, or Ebenebe. You never can tell. Because trees, they bear witness too. They have life in them. Ụfọdụ osisi bụ osisi mmụọ na-apụ apụ. So you need to go back there on that spot and renounce that covenant maka ndụ gị, so that it will not have repercussions on both lovers. If the love was so hot then and it has grown cold, yes, go and reverse that covenant for your peace of mind, for your progress, to avert calamity or even death. Because some of them can make a lot of promise while in love or infatuated. Because it's infatuation that leads to all this, not real love. This is a timely advice, even for whoever that wants to go and do that kind of covenant. Be careful. Be careful. Be very, very careful. Don't play or joke with your life. So the people involved will swear not to harm each other, either physically or spiritually, as anyone who goes against the covenant, the gods and ancestors will dispense justice. You bear the repercussion immediately. If it is to go mad, you know that is what you signed. Another instance, a hole is dug and plantain stalk used to cross the hole. The people concerned are made to cross the makeshift bridge with a declaration that whoever breaks this covenant will fall into the pit. And falling into this pit means endless problems, darkness, stagnation, a whole lot of things. Because once you fall into a pit, darkness will engulf the person. So I gotta be very, very careful. If I name Kayali metelo wine, ask for metalanya bulu. Now let me talk about the positive sides of covenant, or the benefits of covenant. Number 1, you will experience supernatural increase and promotion, depending on the kind of covenant you entered into. Like the case of Akwali Omumu. Akwali Omumu will bless you all round as long as you give Akwali what your ancestors agreed on to be given Akwali Omumu, maybe yearly or every 6 months. Ọ bụrụ na ọkụkọ kafa kwere ya na nkwa oke na nwunye jee na-ebulie ọbụlie ewu unu jee n'ebe Akwali nọ ngwakwa. There's usually an elder who takes care of that Akwali. Akwali is not owned by only one person. It is not even instituted by only one person, by a family or a kindred. That's an umunna. So you should know this and know peace. You ask your parents on time so that you avoid problem or future calamity. You see them do some certain things, go and ask questions. Why is this thing being done? What's the essence of giving sacrifice every year to a particular spot in your family compound or your father's obu? Go and ask questions, because ignorance is a disease, is a killer. Many of us, because of Christianity, we behave as if it doesn't matter. Go and ask questions, please. You are first of all an Igbo, before that your Christianity. Stop being silly. It is an advice that Dibia Wangu Chendo is giving out to you today. Know this and know peace. Number 2, restoration of all the enemy has stolen. There are some covenants that will make you impregnable, so that whatever the enemy does, it doesn't come to you. It doesn't affect you. None of your properties will be stolen. Example is Ngu. Ngu. Number 3, there are some covenants that gives you honor before your enemies, as you are protected all round. Akwali Omumu is an example. Ndi Ichie is an example. Number 4, increased access, as the covenanting or the covenantee keeps to the covenant reward is sure to come from the gods, your ancestors and deities involved, depending on the agreement. Are you listening? I say depending on the agreement that backs up a covenant. That is why you see some people that have this orgy tree in their family, in their compound. Once they sacrifice annually or every 6 months or 3 months to orgy will keep blessing them. It will keep rewarding them. Orgy is a spiritual tree. Osisi orgy is a very big, huge spiritual tree and comes with blessing. Number 5, greater achievements. You benefit a lot when you keep the covenant without violating it. Greater achievement, success, despite challenges or impossibilities. That is the role of Akwali Omumu in Igbo land. Akwali Omumu does not only give children, male or female. It is for all-round fruitfulness, general fruitfulness in the family of people who are under covenant or agreement with Akwali. Odomumu. Some call it Emumu. Some call it Odala Omumu. Know this today and know peace, so that you don't go destroying what you don't know on the kind of agreement or covenant that it stands. Spiritual and physical recognition, even when you do not merit it, but because of the covenant, one is covered. That is number 6. Because of the deities involved, your ancestors, they keep honoring their word as long as there is somebody in that generation that makes it a point of duty to kill an animal that is required to maintain that covenant, to keep it going. It could be a goat or a fowl or a ram, depending, or a cow. It depends. So that you will not say, what is this person doing every year that is doing this and doing that? Know that you will have a spiritual and physical recognition even when you do not merit it, because your ancestors, the deities, will go before you because of that covenant, and you'll be covered. Number 7, prominence and preferential treatment from one generation to another, as long as they keep renewing the covenant and keep its laws. Ife ga na-agala gị nke ọma, ị ga na-enweta ife ọbụla na-atari afụfụ without stressing your life, because you still stand on the components of that covenant instituted or made by your ancestors and those deities and the Chukwu. Because most times you people think our ancestors, they are foolish people or they are archaic. I want to tell you categorically today that whatever you meet in this generation and you castigate the past generation, just know that they were doing what was the trend then. So there is no moral justification of you hating on your ancestors. Ọ ife na-eme mgbe nke ha ka ha kwesịrị ime. You don't say, who you look down on them. What are they even doing self? This is my ancestors. They are. Know this today and know peace, because you are not wiser than them. You uncle that you are now in this generation, what have you done? Yes, to uphold and to progress your family, what have you done? Aside from those people that will go and enter into a cult and be misbehaving. There is nothing like natural covenant between God, that has Chukwu Okike, and your ancestors, and more beunu, your indigenous spirits, your natural spirits like Ogugu, Akwali, Omumu, Ngwu, Oji, Akpu, Agu. There is nothing natural like them. Because nowadays, the kind of society or occult people enter into, I wonder. The one that keep demanding for human lives, human sacrifice. That one is a no-go area. A covenant instituted by using human blood. That is a no-go area. It can't even happen. Because most times people say this to talk bad about their ancestors. Ask, do your research, investigate properly. Most covenants were instituted using goats, live chickens. Okay, number 8, petitions will be granted even by ungodly civil authorities. That's what we call grace or merited grace, like some will say. Rules, policies, regulations, laws are changed to one's advantage as there are higher forces in charge due to the covenant. Those deities involved, even your ancestors, if they are no longer alive, they will be taking care of you. Make sure they break protocols for you, their child, to excel. As long as you, in that generation, you are keeping to that covenant, keeping to its laws. If it's to avoid eating certain meat or killing certain animal, you do that. If it's to avoid eating some certain food, I've seen a family that they don't eat okra. Once they eat okra, ringworm will start appearing all over their body. So there is a reason. It's a covenant that caused that. They are not meant to eat anything dry. That's okra. Efolia. Victories in battles, because the elements involved in the covenant fight for you. Like Ngu, a family that Ngu was instituted, is a natural tree to nobody bad. As your mama ebungu. Know that nobody can defeat you. You will be as strong as, or is it Oji, the Iroko, who can bring it down? Another reason, offering of thanks, that's benefit, either yearly or monthly, depends on the agreement. During the covenant, opens up the portal for goodness like glory, better jobs, promotion, grace, unmerited favor and benefits, among others, as long as you keep to the agreements of the covenant. These are the benefits you will reap. That is what I mentioned, the positive aspect of covenant. Covenant based on some good and beneficial rules and regulation. I don't know about any covenant that a human being was used to institute. Count me out of that. I don't know about it, and I don't want to know. And I know my forefathers did not use human being to institute anything. It's just because they want to demonize and fetishize our way of life, traditional spirituality. Well, there are consequences of breaking a covenant. You should know this. 1, generational curse or stigma. If for a certain generation, some kind of things will be happening to them. They will not grow, they will stagnate. The foundation will become desolate. Imbecile. That is a cause because they broke a covenant. Like India, maybe while they go and check their lives, you see, none of them is progressing. Some will be inflicted with madness, a lot of things. So be careful. Another one is affliction, such as sickness, infertility, disappointment, madness, barrenness, broken marriages, broken relationships, mysterious illnesses. Another 4th one is disunity in families. That family amandi n'udo, nsogbu ebe niile. Then death. There are some covenant that has extreme punishment. Immediately it's broken, you see people start dying up and down. Then let's talk about solution to breaking of covenants. If any generation breaks any covenant and they find out, or they don't even know, but things are happening, number 1, you have to go for Afa consultation, divination. Go to a Dibiambo Afa and find out what happened or what is happening and for solution. Once you find out, number 2, you embark on appeasement rituals and rites. ka imeda ha obi. Ọ bụrụ ndị ichie bụrụ that alụsị that is backing up the covenant. You have to pacify them. If it is okike, chukwu, you have to pacify. After doing appeasement, number 3, you reinstitute the covenant because it portends positivity. Ọ bụrụ like odele akwali obu ndị ichie ma agwụ nwere ajọ ife dị na ya. Ọ bụrụ ngwu ma ọ bụ ngene ma ọ bụ ogwugwu ma ọ bụ udo. You reinstitute, bidokwa n'isi dozigharịa ife unu mebisi. Make sure that generation keep upholding the covenant, the agreement. So number 4, after instituting the covenant, you honor and keep the covenant. Number 5, if your family does not want it anymore, you have to appease, dissolve, and also renounce the covenant after appeasement rites are carried out by the parties involved. If there is no need to keep and honor the covenant anymore, then renegotiate with the entities involved to dissolve it. You now have peace. So this brings us to the end of this teaching. I hope you learned something. This is me, Dibia Nwangwu Uchendo, wishing that you have a nice day and that you also find out about the covenant backing your family. Ensure to find out. That is why you are alive. Some people are existing, but they don't know what is happening around them. Go close to your elderly ones. Go close to your parents, your grandfather, your grandmother. Find out about your history. It will help you a lot. It will help you avoid pitfalls in life. It will help you know the key for peace and progress in your family. Thank you for listening. Bye.